now hitting into year 2, he knows what to expect. He knows this offense. Obviously, the chemistry with Kyler Murray looks to be even better in year 2, and he should have an even better year.
Welcome back weekend, and of course, Cardinals highlighted by our friends over at NFL Network. Omar Ruiz back in the Valley, and Omar, welcome back, my man.
Thanks, Bo. Great to see you.
So,
and great hat.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You've seen him on our show before, and it's great to have him talking some Cards ball. You had a great interview with Marvin Harrison Jr. that we'll talk about here shortly, but just your overall thoughts on the Cardinals in their offseason as you make your first day here at camp.
Yeah, I think they're going to be right there in the thick of the NFC West, which I think should be the, if not the most, one of the most competitive divisions in football. And the Cardinals, I think, are ready to surge. I think they're ready to ascend. I think what we saw at the beginning of last year, heading into the bye week, sole possession of first place in the NFC West, is a preview of what's to come. I think the style of the players that Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austinfort have brought here is what you can win with in the NFL. And I think this group of players has matured to the point where now they're ready to win. And I think we just heard Jonathan Gannon talk about a player like James Conner, who obviously is not a young player, but it's somebody that they still feed off with the violence and his running style that the rest of the team can feed off. And I think it's those kind of players, that style, that the Cardinals are ready to unleash and show to the nation here in the 25 season.
Busy offseason. Who stood out to you as far as their acquisition, whether it was via the NFL draft or free agency?
For the Cardinals?
Yeah.
You mean? Well, Josh Sweat. I mean, that's, I think, when you talk about the Cardinals and the lack of the pass rush, or at least, getting those sacks and a definitive presence, I think that takes care of that. And then Calais Campbell. I mean, that's somebody who I remember covering the Rams-Dolphins Monday night game last year, and him still being a factor, a force. And so, yes, it's a great homecoming story for Calais here in year 18. Everyone's favorite player, Walter Payton Man of the Year award type of presence, but he can still play.
Yeah.
And I think in spurts, especially when you're talking about a team that I think will be playing big games in December, and you're talking about big third down possessions defensively, Calais Campbell is a guy that can get there. So when you talk about the big names defensively that they acquired, they're big names for a reason.
Right.
And I expect them to make a presence for the Cardinals here in 25.
Yeah, I liked how Austinfort said it the other day. It's like, Calais, he's not coming for this farewell homecoming tour. The guy can still play. And they played the Dolphins last year, and Calais was a big-time factor in that game. Omar Ruiz has a fantastic interview you got to check out with Marvin Harrison Jr., but you talked to Marv last year as the rookie. Now he's a rising sophomore. What kind of sense did you get as far as where his confidence is?
Yeah, I think because of the experience he gained, I think he does have a lot of confidence. I think he's somebody who came into the NFL with a lot of confidence, but I think no matter who you are, I think Calais said it best the other day talking about Tyrann Mathieu. It's rare that a player steps right into the NFL and becomes the best player on the field. He was explaining that in how Tyrann Mathieu was the rare player to be that when he entered the NFL. And Marvin Harrison, as good and as talented and as accomplished as he was at Ohio State, he still had to learn the NFL game. He had to learn the physicality. He had to learn separation and running after the catch and all that. And he still had a very productive season. So now hitting into year 2, he knows what to expect. He knows this offense. Obviously, the chemistry with Kyler Murray looks to be even better in year 2, and he should have an even better year. And I did think it was interesting because, so many of these guys are afraid to, reveal, their true colors, so to speak. And for him to say that he did notice Malik Nabers and Brian Thomas Jr. and Ladd McConkey, his fellow classmates from last year, who had better numbers than he did, for the most part, better seasons statistically. For him to notice that, take note,
right?
I think bodes well for him and his second year.
Yeah, good sign of awareness for a young player. We'll get you out on this. You had a great sit down. I encourage people to look for it. NFL Network, of course, your social channels at Omar Ruiz. The weight gain, 209, 220, noticeably larger. You covered this team last year, as we mentioned. I mean, bulked up, man. I mean, did he give any insight to you that as far as how he did it?
Well, I mean, just obviously focusing on his training and watching what he eats and just becoming a real pro in every aspect of his game. We talked about him learning how to play in the NFL on the field, but it's also how to train your body and how to do everything right off the field. And I think that's where he made the difference there. But I did joke that one thing we had in common was that we both gained a little weight.
We all did
in the off season. Yeah, we always do.
Yeah.
His just gets a lot of attention, but I do think for somebody who plays as physically as he does, or at least is capable of it, for him to be even stronger and potentially faster at that weight, certainly would lead to that raised expectations for him this upcoming season. But he did look big, strong, the physical presence that he always carries himself with, and I think he does so with even more confidence now.
Yeah, I mean, I did mine via Circle K and several stops to the convenience store there, and I don't get any credit for it, and neither does our guy Omar, but Marvin Harrison Jr. did, because he's kept his speed. Unbelievable stuff. Can't wait to see you out here the rest of the year. Omar Ruiz.